Hey guys, welcome back. And today let's discuss about Singleton Design Pattern in Java. This is perhaps the most widely used design pattern across enterprise applications in the industry. The projects I have worked with and the projects I have gone through, they all use Singleton Design Pattern in one or more places. So what is Singleton Design Pattern? Basically, it is a way of writing code. It is a way of creating a class such that only one object of that class can be created in the entire application. Okay, so we will get into the details of how to create this class. But before going into that, we will first look what are the use cases for Singleton Design Pattern. Before knowing the use cases, it will not be worthy to get to know how it is created. So first of all, the first use case is that whenever we want to create a database connection, at that time we would not want every request to create its own database connection, because if that happens, then it will be connection overload and resource exhaustion would be there. Then the next use case is that whenever we want to create loggers in our system, so we would want one single logger to be accessible globally across our application. So in that case, we will create the logger as a singleton object. Then the next use case is when we want to load properties from a configuration file. It does not make sense to load the configuration file again and again to access the property. Instead, what we will do is we will create the property as a singleton object and then read the values from that object. Then the next use case is where we want to create threads in a multi-threaded environment, and we want only one thread pool to be created, one instance of the thread pool which will create multiple threads. So these are some of the examples where singleton design pattern is used. And now let's look into how we can create a class that will have singleton nature. Let's try to create a singleton class. We will create the class with name singleton. Now you need to keep these things in mind before creating a singleton class. So what all things you have to introduce in the class? So firstly, you need to restrict the object creation from outside world. Okay, restrict object creation from outside, right? And then what you need to do is you need to yourself create the object. Okay, yourself create the object inside this class, and then expose the created object to outside world. Okay, only these things we need to do to make a class singleton. So to restrict the object creation, what we will do is we will create a private constructor. Okay, so private constructor will not allow objects to be created using the new keyword. Then to ourselves create the object inside this class, let's declare the object instance. We will write singleton object and we will make it static, and we will also make it private so that it is accessible only from within this class. And we are making it static because anyways it is one object that we wish to create for this class, and hence it will be bound to the class. Now to expose this object to the outside world, we will create a method which will be public, and it will return the singleton instance. We will name the method as getInstance, and we will say that this method will also be static because it is dealing with a static member. So we will have to create this method as a static method. Now in this method, what we will do is we will check if the object is not created yet. Only then go ahead and create the object, right? So create the object and then return the object. Return object. So by writing this code, we have given the singleton nature. Okay, it will restrict the object creation to only one time. Now, what can be something that can break this singleton nature. If there's a multi-threaded environment and there can be more than one thread which are trying to call the get instance method, and let's say if the object has not been instantiated yet, it is the first time that object is trying to be instantiated, and both the threads evaluate the if condition at the same time. So they will both go inside the if condition and they will both try to execute line number 9. So in that case, they will both create a new object for the singleton class, which is not required because we want only one object of this class to be created. So what we can do to overcome this is we can create the method as a synchronized method. We know that synchronized method before getting executed, it will acquire the class level lock since it's a static method. So basically only one thread will be able to access this method at one time. Okay, all fine. This will work for a multi-threaded environment. Now, what can be one problem with this synchronized method? So you know that synchronized method will always try to acquire the class level lock. Even if the object has been instantiated once, it will again and again try to, every time it is called, it will try to acquire the lock and then it will go inside the method to return the instance, which is unnecessary, which is not required. So what we can do is we can remove the synchronized keyword from the method and we can create a synchronized block inside which we will create the object. So we will acquire the class level lock here and we will be creating the object inside the synchronized block. Okay. But now again, since the synchronized block is written here, the same problem that we faced before making the method synchronized can be faced here. That more than one thread can come inside this if condition, and although they will acquire the class level lock before trying to execute the object creation step, but still they will uh, create in a synchronized manner when the processing of first thread is over, and after that the second thread will try to process, but still create two new objects. So what we can do here is we can introduce the if check again inside the synchronized block. Okay, we can check whether the object has been created already, and if not, only then go ahead and create the object. Okay, so this will overcome that problem as well. All right. So in this approach, you see that we have written the if condition twice, and hence this way of implementing the singleton code is called double checked locking. Okay, it is called double checked locking because we are checking object has been created or not two times, once outside the synchronized block and once inside the synchronized block, right? And one more thing to keep in mind with this approach is that we have to make the singleton object as volatile, right? Because volatile objects are read from and written directly to the main memory. Uh, we need we need to create this object as volatile so that an update done to this object in one thread will be seen on the other threads. Okay, so this was all that I wanted to share about singleton design pattern and how you can create your own singleton class. Let me know in comments if you liked my explanation. Thank you so much.